Started, I want to introduce the speakers for today. To my right, Executive Director of NFL Players Association, Mr. DeMaurice Smith. We have beside him Brian Peoples, President of AstroTurf. Katie Pandolfo, General Manager, Home Depot Center. We have Matthew Hatchett, 8-year NFL veteran with the Minnesota Vikings. And Willie McGinnis, 3-time Super Bowl champion, 14-year NFL veteran. How we'll go? I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't tell me that one. It was a tough year. That last year was a tough year.
Gotta get that vested year.
Only won 4 games. So it was tough.
Well, look, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to our partners, AstroTurf and the Home Depot Center, as we do something that is fresh and new, not only for a number of our collegiate players, but also for our organization. As you know, over the last 2.5 years, we have had a little bit of a dust up with the National Football League as we prepared but finally agreed to a 10-year deal that not only provides us with labor peace, but hopefully provides us with an opportunity to move forward in the way in which we address, deal, prepare, and take care of players who are coming into the National Football League, those who are in the National Football League, and those who are moving on with their careers. This NFLPA Collegiant game is a centerpiece in that philosophy of taking care of our members, our players. It'll be the first collegiate all-star game to ever take place. Well, at first, I love the city of Los Angeles, and I think that we have one of the largest former player chapters in this great city. We would love to have and long to have a relationship with Los Angeles. Tomorrow I'll be speaking at the annual Lane Dinner. Look, the opportunity to come not only to a major media market, but also to come to a part of the country that has supplied so many athletes to the National Football League, and as our former players have made this city their home.
How did you get involved in being the executive director of the NFLPA?
Well, it's sort of a strange story, but I was sitting at my desk one day and got a call from a group that was putting together a book of executives, lawyers who might be interested in being the executive director of the National Football League Players Association, and responded to the call, and after a long process of about 300 folks, ended up with one. I can tell you that our young men started taking very strong steps of leadership right after Gene died. And I remind them about it every day, about just how difficult that process was. I mean, you're talking about young men who were in their 20s who woke up one day and their leader, who had been in this job for longer than some of them had been alive, was gone. So you had guys like Drew Brees and Jeff Saturday and Kevin Mawai and Dominique Foxworth who stepped into that breach to fill that spot. What they did, continuing to be leaders after that, was something that I challenged them to do, but most importantly, they rose to that challenge because, I can exhort them, I can try to have them try to step up and lead. But it's going to take a terrifically strong young person to step into the breach and fight the way that they did through the course of this lockout and through the course of this negotiation.
Now, we just got through an NBA lockout. Now they've pretty much resolved a lot of the issues. You watching on, and I know I've heard reports that you were actually called upon for some type of expertise. Mm-hmm. If you were the NBA PA, were there some things that you would have done differently or a little bit more structured?
It is impossible for me to answer that question because I wasn't there. The ins and outs of negotiation, I know that there isn't a commentator out there who wanted to put in their 2 cents about our lockout, our negotiation, our CBA, the same thing with the NBA's. But it's just like playing football on the field. Unless you're in the huddle, unless you hear the play called, unless you're on the field for the way in which the play is going to be executed, it's very difficult to know. You can watch from the outside and have your own judgments, but Many times those judgments have very little to do with reality. I know that Billy Hunter is a tremendous leader, and I got to know Derek Fisher, who is one of the best young men I've ever met in my life. So I know that they were in good hands. My message to them was really, as players, you need to stick together.
How are you able to have the younger players versus the veteran players in the NFL kind of stick together? Because we saw it seemed like some dissension between the younger NBA players and then the veteran NBA players as far as, hey, we want to play. Some saying, no, don't take the deal. How are you able to keep a united front in the NFL?
I think reminding our players that there is more that keeps them together than draws them apart. When I'm in a locker room talking to our guys, look, the difference between a 2-year player and a 15-year player is huge. But guess what? All of you have broken fingers. All of you have busted backs. All of you have sore knees. There isn't a day when you aren't thinking about with your family what you're going to do with your health care. All of you want to have a good pension when it's time to leave. None of you want to be subjected to playing conditions that are unsafe.
Where do you see this collegiate game going from this year, say 5 years from now?
We're already talking about 5 years from now because we believe that the opportunity to reach out, to touch athletes, to get them thinking about the right way about the business of football and the game of football is important for their union, for the people who are going to be helping them with their pensions, their transition into football, their transition out of football. We look at this game as along a continuum. And our job as a union is to serve our members. This game and everything else we do hopefully will be something where we continue to take steps forward in that effort.